This is a little disconcerting, just because we get a lot of the links on the CU podcast from Joystiq.com. It's a reputable, games journalism site. It's been around for a long time. And
game journalism.
Games.
It's not games.
They do one game. They do more than one game. Anyway, so game journalism site, and they announced they're closing up shop, or it seems like they are. Along with that, in the industry in the past couple weeks, it was announced that Defy Media, who owns Gametrailers.com and the Escapist magazine site, they're laying off tons of people. And I think Gametrailers already laid off people previously, I think last year. So they're in trouble too. Most notably Gametrailers. Gametrailers, if you looked at their website traffic in the past 5-6 years, it's plummeted. Really plummeted.
Well, sure, there's separate... It's not the collect-all that it used to be.
Sure, because when it started, YouTube wasn't huge.
Right.
And so when you wanted to see a game trailer, you went to Gametrailers.com. There wasn't a lot of outlets to do that. You went to IGN or 1UP when it was around, or GameSpy. Like you go to those sites. But now, all these software companies have their own YouTube channels. They give it out to all these other IGN, which have their own giant YouTube channels. You don't need a dedicated website for game trailers anymore.
No, and I hate to say it, but all game journalism is regurgitating PR letters and putting spin on that stuff, reviews. This is all stuff you can get elsewhere, and it's sad to me that Joystiq is gone. Not because I read Joystiq, but because it's one less known gaming website out there that I have the chance to read. I don't read any game websites right now. Mm-hmm. Zero. You know why? Because I don't like any of them. They all suck. But that doesn't mean that there can't be a good one. And the more that there are out there, the more competition there is, and the more chances there are for a good one to emerge. And I haven't found one. So I mean, my gaming, my new video game news comes through Twitter and word of mouth and the occasional link someone will link me to another, a web page. But I don't wake up in the morning and go, okay, I'm going to Kotaku or Destructoid or this or that, because it's not news. It's just PR with a little blurb attached.
Or it's clickbait. I always get on.
The clickbait is awful.
I told you, well, for various reasons, I don't visit Kotaku anymore. To me, it's just giant clickbait. And I was tired of looking at it.
Polygon is probably... a lot of times I feel like Polygon's the worst.
But Joystiq, at least to me, seemed more reputable to me. It seemed like they kept their, at least on paper, kept their noses cleaner for the most part. And it's just a shame that they'll be gone. AOL's, who owns them, the parent company, in a larger content cleanup from numerous sources. They're doing a house cleaning of quote-unquote underperforming content properties, and it's taking place over the next few weeks. So you're not even giving them a lot of heads up. Next few weeks, you're going to be gone. So it was founded in 2004 as an extension of Engadget, which I did not know.
Yeah.
And part of Weblogs, which AOL bought in 2005. So yeah, it's not even the fact that maybe they were still making money, but not enough to make it worth AOL's time. Which, unfortunately, that can happen too. You don't have to be losing money to be shuttered.
But you can just not be making enough.
Not making enough, which is a shame.
Although I would be willing to bet that lower totem pole video game websites, and that's not to sound insulting to Joystiq, but when you do talk to people who talk about video game websites, they do tend to talk about Kotaku, Polygon, and Destructoid. Joystiq does not come up.
Or IGN.
Joystiq does not come up a lot, and it wouldn't surprise me if they were losing money.
So Joystiq, it's a shame. Like I said, I follow you on Twitter. I get a lot of news from you. So in terms of, I don't have much to comment on about Escapist. I know it was probably a much bigger website years back when they first had Jim Sterling, and they had zero punctuation, who they still have. But I think that model is just going away. It's all going towards YouTube, and that's why Gametrailers in particular is going bye-bye, probably because you don't need them anymore. YouTube is where you get...
it makes me so fucking barf sick. I don't want to watch my news. Am I one of the only people left who wants to read his fucking news?
Well, you can read them on sites, but even now, like if you go on IGN, they'll have like...
Oh, I know. No,
they'll have the article and then a video version of it.
Yeah, it's not like this is going to...
Even CNN does that.
It's not like this is... Well, that's why I don't go to CNN.
CNN's terrible, too.
Yeah, Fox does it, BBC.co.uk does it. Every website that I go to for news of any sort fucking jams a fucking video down my goddamn throat, and I don't want to watch it. I don't want to look at your fucking ugly face and your stupid talking head, just let me read the story in my own fucking voice and take it at my own pace.
Well, it's also the ad revenue. But I know what you're saying. You click on an article on CNN and you start scrolling down. All of a sudden, you hear an advertisement play. Like, what the hell? I didn't click on a video.
Right.
They preload them when you click on the article.
I don't care, Miss Blonde Hair and Mr. Big Chin. I just want to read my fucking news.
And a lot of time, they just repeat word for word, like, what's there, or most of it.
Yes, but it's horrifying, too, because they're talking about the most horrifying things, and they've got this fucking smile plastered on their face. Oh, my God, it's so gross.
So, it's the end of an era, I guess you could say. Or the beginning of an end.
End of an era.
Well, Gametrailers is how I got known for doing my videos. They used to have a very robust... I want to reach over this table. A very robust user submission section. And they took a big hit on their site when they got rid of it for no good reason like 3 years ago. Or 4 years ago. Anyway, so I had stuff put on the front page of Gametrailers. My bearded chiller Pat face on the front page of there. Me and Rue doing the Video Game History Museum at E3 was on the front page. And the first Flea Art Madness, when I posted on there, got 50,000 hits in a day back in like 2009. It was nuts. I was like, wow, people want to see an asshole go to a flea market. I guess that was the first time people really saw that on the net. So I have a connection to Gametrailers. I was actually at one point involved in a contest which didn't get off the ground. It was me, a guy named Peanut Butter Gamer. You may not know, but he has 1 million+ followers on YouTube now.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to be in a contest for the next big feature on Gametrailers. And back in like 2010, that was a big deal to be a feature on Gametrailers. AVGN was on there. Screw Attack had a lot of stuff on there. Mega 64 used to be a feature on Gametrailers. So that was like the MTV of like video games at one point, Gametrailers, and now it's sort of lost its heat and popularity.